Hi guys, welcome back. If you don't know me, I'm Anna. I'm a doctoral intern in clinical psychology, and today we're going to be talking about 3 simple ways that you can use planning to improve your mental health. Hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's just get straight into it. Number 1 way that you can use planning to improve your mental health is called coping ahead. This is a concept from dialectical behavioral therapy, also called DBT, in which basically you prepare for a situation that makes you anxious or worried about how you're going to be able to address it, maybe because you're anticipating powerful emotions, you're anticipating conflict, or anticipating it to be difficult for you for some reason. And so the way that I do this is pretty simple. If there's a situation that I'm a little bit concerned about, or I want to make sure I'm just mentally prepared for, I will kind of go through my predictions, like realistically what is going to happen in this situation. So for example, let's say that you're going home for Thanksgiving and you're concerned that your dad's going to make a political baiting comment that starts a fight about like politics at the dinner table. That might be something you write down. You say, I predict my dad's probably going to make a comment like this. Maybe my mom's going to comment on my weight. Like my sister's going to start a fight with me over what I'm wearing or whatever. And so for each one of those situations, try to basically problem solve. Think about what would help you in that situation to meet your goals. What would help you emotionally regulate? What would help you avoid conflict? What would help you get out of that situation with the least possible amount of distress? So maybe it's, okay, if I know my dad's going to start a political fight, I'm just going to say I need to go to the restroom and excuse myself, and hopefully by the time I'm back, I'm out of the loop, out of the conversation, or maybe he's gotten distracted. My mom comments on my weight, I'll just take a really deep breath, I'll count to 100 in my head, and I will change the subject. They could be related to what are you going to do externally, like what are you going to do in the situation with the other person, or it could be internal in terms of like emotion regulation and grounding yourself, or cognitive diffusion, like a whole host of different techniques that we have touched on this channel in terms of like how you want to address the situation. And honestly, the beauty of this technique is predicting what's going to happen can be really comforting when it actually happens. So many times when I've predicted something in a situation, when I actually showed up in that situation and then it happened, afterwards, I could go back to my list and say, yep, this happened, this happened, this happened. And maybe I didn't handle it perfectly. I don't mean to make it sound like if you cope ahead, you're going to never struggle or never fumble in life and everything's just going to go perfectly smooth for you like you planned. But it's so reassuring to know like, hey, like I knew this was going to happen. I foresaw it. It wasn't surprising. It didn't catch me out of left field. It's just kind of how things go. And true, there are some things that you're not always going to catch. There are some things that are going to come out of left field. But hey, what can you do about that? You can only predict what you can predict and plan for it and cope ahead. Number 2 way that planning can prepare you for mental health struggles is scripting for big days. I do this for interviews. I do this for like the first day when I'm working somewhere. I do this for something that I want to happen, or like, when I'm submitting my novel to literary agents. I visualize very clearly in my head like the best case scenario, what I want to happen, how I want it to go, using all 5 senses, how it's going to happen, how it's going to feel, what I'm going to see, hear, taste, all that stuff. And it helps to just go through the different steps of like, first this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and oh, there's this thing that I actually don't know what is going to happen, so maybe I should get interested and see like, I don't know, like where do I park on the first day of work so that I'm prepared for it. And so this one is really twofold. Firstly, it helps you because you're more prepared for the situation. You've kind of already gone through it in your head. You can visualize it. Personally, I visualize best after I write something down. So being able to like script out what's going to happen, or like write a narration of what's going to happen, helps me visualize it. Some people are more just automatically visual. Kudos to those people. I don't know how you do it. But the second piece that's really helpful is that you're kind of, I know I'm going to get some like eye rolls for this one, but you're kind of manifesting it. Part of manifestation is visualizing things ahead of time. And it is like scientifically proven that if you visualize something before you do it, you're more likely to do it better afterwards. Like pro athletes always visualize how they're going to hit the ball or how they're going to get it through the net before they actually do it. Manifestation, as people like to describe it, I don't really see it in like a magical way, although if you do, that's fine. I don't mind that. I see it really as just visualizing what you want to happen, visualizing your success, your best case scenario outcome, and being really prepared for that. And number 3, really simple way that you can prepare for your mental issues is to write a letter to yourself in a whole number of different situations. So for example, you can write a letter to yourself if you start to experience illness anxiety, if something that's pertinent to you. You can write a letter to yourself if someone is teasing you at school. You can write a letter for if an ex reaches out to you. The sky is the limit with this. There are whatever options are pertinent to you. So think about the situations where you find yourself feeling the most distressed, the most out of control, and write yourself a letter for those situations. And so when you get teased at school and you come home really upset, you're not just alone and left wondering, well, shit, what do I do? You can pull up your mental health journal to that page, read the letter that you wrote yourself, and have a sense of comfort, feel like you're not going through it alone, that you anticipated this, you kind of give yourself a list of like, here are the steps to go through to handle this. And honestly, I find that writing yourself letters is so helpful because it's not like someone else is telling you, oh, well, don't think about that, just think about something else. It's not like someone else is giving you bad advice. You know yourself better than anyone else. So advice that comes from your past self is going to be really, really valuable because you know what's going to make you feel better. You know how to phrase it. You know, if you prefer tough love, you can write it in tough love. If you prefer to go easy on yourself, you can write it in a really compassionate way. Do your future self a favor by writing yourself the most comprehensive letter you can think of for the situations that you think are going to be the most problematic for your future self to handle. That's all for today. Really quick but simple video for you all. You know how it works out if you try these techniques, and I will see you soon.